Okay, everybody, this is John with another installment about your safety and security being your own in the Southwest. So, in the video I made 2.5 years ago, I talked about how when we would go into a campground, that I would typically back in. And that would be so that if there was a problem, uh, I could crawl through, get in the front seat, and we could drive away without incident. Okay? Problem out here is, for example, the other day coming from the Gila Wilderness to where we are now, the road is so steep and so windy and so narrow that the actual posted speed limit was 10 miles an hour. All right, so envision that. You're up at 9,500 feet on some under-maintained road with no shoulder and no barrier to prevent you from going over the side. The sign says 10 miles an hour, and you've got a problem, all right? And I don't know what that problem is. Maybe you've had a problem with an animal at your campground. Maybe you've had a problem with a local at your campground, but now you're going to try to get in your vehicle and flee. And adrenaline is going to probably have you driving faster than you should be. That sounds like a bad solution to a bad problem. So look at it like you've got to stay sedentary there. Oh, and factor in the idea that there's no cell phone connectivity, and that help is probably an hour away, whether you go back the way you came or whether you try to find the next town up the road. Things are far and few between out here, okay? That being the case, I don't back in anymore with the idea that I'm going to scurry away. What I do is I now park perpendicular to the avenue of approach, so that if my thumb is the door and you're the boogeyman coming up, you see this side of the RV, and the door facing away from you allows me to look out the side window and evaluate what's coming. And what could be coming could be anything from some drunk Mexicans to hold you up to a motorcycle gang. We do have Harley's Angels here, and who else do we have? I can't remember, but I will in a minute. Anyway, and they're all out here like grab-assing around, doing the whole like Easy Rider kind of thing. So if we're parked this way and somebody that I don't want to deal with comes into the park and approaches our vehicle, then we can flee out the side door and go into the woods. Okay? And we can come around and flank them, where we can go and hide, or we can go in further, what have you. Again, as I say in all my videos, I would rather run away and live another day than have some problem in a remote campground parking lot because some meth head wants my wallet. All right? So that's that. What else can I tell you? I guess that's about it. The thing, when we did go, a couple of the campgrounds we went to, I wasn't that worried about the locals. There was one spot where I was worried about the locals because they drove by 5 times. And this is a completely remote road. And it was on Cinco de Mayo. And it was a pickup truck full of drunk Mexicans. And they were driving, like I said, 5 times. They're driving by doing the slow auger, checking us out. All right? So that's the way that went. But again, I had my pistol with me. My concern in those situations is the animals. Because you will have your mindset of like, okay, I camp in Mississippi this way, or I camp in New York State this way, and I set my crap up and, what have you. But the fact of the matter is you come down here, and if you camp the same way, if you cook the same way, for example, Andrea was cooking bacon the other night, and you could smell that crap a quarter of a mile down the valley. Now, if there were critters in the area, and I'm sure there were, they were all aware of the fact that she was cooking bacon too, okay? So what I'm saying is, don't just step out of the door of your rig at night in the dark without first opening the door and looking around with a flashlight. And you probably should have a pistol with you, because if you get out of your rig with your flashlight still, and there's something right there behind your rig sniffing at your I don't know, your black water tank or something, what have you, then there you go. Okay? And as I said, you are far from help, you are unable to call from help, and you are your best and only defense against something like that. Now, we're here in the spring, as I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, and so normally the parent animals, the moms and the dads or what have you, know enough to stay away from you. They've, had enough human contact to know that we're not nice to them. It will be the youngins that you need to worry about. It'll be turning around and, oh shit, there's 3 bear cubs coming down the hill towards our camp now because they're curious as to what we are and what that bacon smell is. Or out here, it'll be the cougar kids, pups, whatever you call them. Same deal, okay? The youngins will bring the concerned adults, and those will be the ones you're going to want to look out for. Now, the other thing is that because it's springtime and everybody's looking to feed their kids and everybody's looking to get fat before the summer comes on, everybody's feeding on everybody else. So don't lose sight of your kids, or your kids will wind up feeding somebody else's kids and what have you. It happens out here, all right? Especially with the cougars. Cougars love to chew on people. I don't know why, but so be it. Now, I mentioned in the first video all the animals that you might have to deal with. Oryx look like a cross between a unicorn and a zebra. And the thing is that they were imported from Africa like 100 years ago and brought here for sport hunting. And they got loose, and they're out there now. And these things are vicious. Their horns are about 3.5 or 4 feet long. They've got 2 of them coming out of their head. If you stop to take pictures of them and they notice you, they will come over and ram you and attack your vehicle much like a rhinoceros would. They are horrible animals. Avoid them if you can. I've seen oryx. The thing that I fear are wild dogs, and that happens a lot because what happens is you'll have people, kind-hearted people, sure they are, but you will have people who will think like, oh, let's take our dog out to the campground and dump it there, and whoever comes along next will pick it up and love it. And that doesn't always happen. And so what you wind up having is these campgrounds are frequented by packs of wild, ex-domesticated dogs. Okay? I have been almost attacked many times. Many times. Okay? In fact, about 1,000 feet behind me is an area where people feel welcome to dump their dogs. And so, even though that's my property up there in the corner, I have been all but attacked, let's say menaced, by pit bulls, which seem to be the dogs that wind up getting dumped the most, 3 or 4 times. I do not leave sight of the RV anymore without my pistol because of that. I mentioned the cougars. They're out there. The other thing that I worry about are the wild pigs, or the boars, or whatever you want to call them. They are vicious and ruthless, and not something to be messed with. Now, I don't know anybody who's ever been attacked by bear. I don't know anybody who's ever been attacked by a cougar, personally. I don't know anybody who's ever been attacked by a wolf. But I sure as shit know people who have been attacked by boar, my buddy Dan. And I know people who have been harassed or menaced, or if you want to say attacked and stretch the truth a little, by wild dogs. Then here I am. As I said, it happened right there. That being the case, the whole premise of this video is, can you and where can't you carry a weapon? Man, I like to carry a weapon with me when I'm camping all over the place, but as I said initially, some places you can't. So, maybe at the very worst, carry a big-ass can of bear spray, or bugs, like wasp spray that shoots 12 feet or something. But the fact of the matter is, you are an easy food source maybe not you personally, but because the people yesterday didn't exercise proper food hygiene where you are now camping, uh, they have brought in the animals, and the animals are thinking that you are the source of that smell. So you need to be aware of that and deal with it. Okay, if you have any problems or questions, leave them in the comments down below. Otherwise, we'll talk to you later. Schalke 04 out. Thanks, bye.